Welcome to Vienna here, this beautiful capital of Austria and also of a neutral state. Yeah, and this is exactly what I want to change now, and I'm in the process of having some positive results. I think all other countries in Europe are already in NATO with few exemptions, and there is no single reason why Austria shouldn't be. And I'm walking now Maria-Hilfer-Straße, and I have tomorrow this press conference in Graz. That's why I'm going to Graz, and that's our second town, because I will systematically now after Linz, that's my hometown, so I was there first, and Vienna, this is of course the capital. Now I will go to Graz to announce that we are in this initiation phase of the Austrian People's Petition, and I will also see how many have signed already. That's of course very important to also have a clear overview of that status after these 10 days in the Balkans. Hopefully more Austrians have signed the People's Petition. It's not so easy to reach the public here. Austria is a very controlled state because partly we are exactly on these big issues, the big item issues in this country, of course, where we are different to the rest of Europe, is only one. Because otherwise we are in the EU, we have the Euro, we are in Schengen, we are in OECD, we have to high taxes, I say since 20 years, but that battle seems to be difficult to win. I will continue that one. But the one big issue which we are different is of course that we are neutral and not in NATO, and that needs to change. It also leads then to some dependencies towards Russia, some kind of neutralist philosophy, this kind of xenophobia and protectionism, this anti-Americanism. That's all subcomponents of that big issue that is that we are neutral. Our energy dependencies, the energy links with Russia, the gas pipeline, the gas hub in Baumgartenkirchen, the ownership of so much Austrian strategic energy of Russia, and also our complete opposition towards free trade agreements with America and with Latin America, Mercosur, and all the other anti-Americanism and anti-Europeanism and the xenophobia of our country, this rejection of enlargement and this rejection of opening the labor market towards the fellow Europeans from the East. That's all completely wrong, and we will change that now. But it's all subcomponents. The protectionism, the anti-Americanism, they are all subcomponents of the one big institutional question that is of course NATO membership, and that we will change now. It looks a little bit ambitious. I understand many people will say how to do that, but I've now 30 years of these debates and now the time has come. I'm here at the Square of Human Rights in Vienna, and I promise you it will happen. It will be a fast process because a long debate will be very complicated, and I'm confident that after what we have seen already in changes in Europe now under the hammer blows of the Russian aggression and the terrible war, this is of course this is the main square where there is a lot of pro-Ukrainian activity. That's very good. I've not been here on the weekend, but there were a lot of activities now with the Russian brutality reaching new heights. That's of course very important to condemn, and the Austrians are very much pro-Ukraine, and they are doing their best to achieve progress here and getting better, and this will definitely change much here. And the membership of NATO is just a logical consequence of everything what is happening. Otherwise, why the Swedes and the Finns have joined? Of course, Austrian foreign policy is dominated by few personalities, Mr. Schüssel, Mr. Leitl, all in the pocket of Russia. This is part of the truth, and this is part why these links are so powerful. And obviously the Austrian, and also Mr. Fischer, of course, he is the main lobbyist of Russia since 50 years in Austria. He's the pillar of neutralism, and Heinz Fischer, Wolfgang Schüssel, Christoph Leitl, who else I would mention as the most important. Of course, there are some minor figures as Swoboda and Kern and others, but you know, they are not the main strongholds of Austrian neutrality. It's more Heinz Fischer with his deep links into the Russian communism, and of course the deep links of Mr. Schüssel with Putin and all the consequent economic ties which were built over so long, and all the party financing of the Social Democrats, of the Christian Democrats and other parties who have taken so much Russian money. And it will all come out now. I'm sure the Americans will release one by one all the information about the financial subsidies of the Russians towards Austria, and that will be explosive stuff in the coming weeks and months. Why they will do it? Because simply they have the information, and Austria is reluctant to join NATO, so they will simply release all these things of European complicity and of European crimes, and you will see that will be devastating for many of the Europeans. They will be devastated because their whole financial dealings with Russia will be exposed, and there was so much of it, this 300 million. And you see already the debate in Albania on Russian rubles funding, and this will be taking up steam as well in this beautiful country over time. I'm confident. Now I have to go. I just have to find the right moment, and I will continue to make this statement. But now I'm walking towards Volkstheater, and I want to make a statement in front of the Austrian Parliament, because then I will go to Graz and I will spread the gospel of NATO-backed free Europe towards the southeastern parts of Austria, where a lot of NATO allies live, and that's very good. And we will bring all the NATO allies who are in Austria towards supporting Austrian accession, and that will be excellent. The coming days you will see there will be significant progress on the Austrian NATO front. Yeah, Slava Ukraine, it is terrible what they are doing here. The Russians are putting their last equipment forward to destroy Kiev. I wish them to die in hell. Putin will certainly be in hell, and I wish him and all his kind of proxy forces to be in the worst possible outcome. Russia must be defeated and then dismembered and dismantled. There will be no Russian state after this is over. It will be a new and better Russian Federation, one which will be with 34 states. I will talk more about that one in the future, and it will be much better. And by the way, the Austrian Empire was dismantled for the First World War, and this is simply the normal process of history, that colonial imperial projects like the Russian ones will be dismembered as the result of their failed aggression. I think that's not even the failed aggression. In the case of the Russian Empire, it was simply the result of of the British Empire. They didn't attack, but still they were dismembered after the Second World War for mainly financial and also ideological reasons, because suppressing so many people is absolutely wrong, and that shouldn't be the case. Yes, I will make a statement now at the Parliament and then continue my activities on the way to Graz. Thanks a lot, all the best, bye.